TimeEnds Radio. Man, so how you been, man?
Well, hanging in there during doing the COVID thing.
Dude, how you been holding up with that?
Well, for a good chunk of last year, I was starting to go a little stir crazy. I decided I was going to record a solo acoustic album, which I
Nice.
did, but I never mixed it.
You got to mix it?
I spent like 8 weeks mixing one song, and got a little burned out on it.
Yeah, no, that happens. I love acoustic shit. So you recorded like a whole album during the lockdown and stuff?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really productive. A couple of my musician friends are like, "Nah, I'm just gonna smoke weed all day and just hang out." It's like, dude, write some music.
Well, you can still do that.
You can. just just have the creative juices going, and that's awesome. So when are you planning on releasing it?
Sometime after I mix it. I'm actually working on 5 albums, so the acoustic album is one of them. I've got a new Naked Picassos album I've been working on, and I've got a album I'm doing with my friend out of France called Sky Change, and a couple other things, experimental instrumental album.
So I want to talk about Naked Picassos. So what's the story behind that band?
Well, the story behind that band is we started around like 1991 in Hollywood, and played all over Hollywood for years and years. And around the beginning of the millennium, people just started drifting away, and now I'm just kind of holding it down with guest appearances.
Oh, so you're not a part of that group anymore?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I am. I'm still fronting it. I'm still putting out albums, but a lot of these. See, the problem was like the guitar player. He was making over $100,000 a year doing animation. He's one of the original Budweiser Frog guys, and the keyboardist, he was making over $100,000 doing artificial intelligence, and they just didn't feel like they were, it was really worth it to them to go kicking around clubs in Hollywood for next to nothing.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I used to do that, the Hollywood scene, and I ain't gonna lie, I miss performing out there, and I guess I mean when it's kind of like it turns into a hobby when you have like a career that kind of consumes your life,
Yeah.
But I mean it happens, But that's good that you guys are still doing music at least. I mean, you guys aren't performing, but you're still recording albums.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still performing, but with those guys, basically, some of them are just starting to get back into the fold because a lot of them are starting to go into retirement, and they've got nothing to do now.
Hey, you busy? You're like, I'm very busy. What can I do for you? Well, that's good. At least they're getting back into it. I mean, you got to play music. You got to do it. I was listening to the stuff to your Spotify and SoundCloud for Naked Picasso. What's the inspiration? Let's start with Naked Picasso. Let's get them out of the way, and then we'll focus on you. What inspired the style of music that you guys are writing? It's very familiar. It's for me, being older, like I like it a lot. So. Like, what inspired you guys to write that?
We were inspired by a lot of the prog bands from the 70s, like Jethro Tull and, that kind of stuff. And then the 80s, like, creeped in, and the synthesizer. We got some of the synthesizer things going on there and stuff like that. But like I said, after a while, it's just I ended up writing a lot of it myself, and people started dropping off, and, But we're kind of a sort of on a kind of a proggish kind of blend with those guys.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff. I listened to pretty much the first like 10, 15 songs on here. Yeah, you guys had a Christmas album.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I'm like, wait, is this the right band? It is.
Well, yeah. The cool thing about a Christmas album is it comes back every year. You know.
That's true. Yeah. You're like, here, release these songs again. So you said you're still performing, right?
Yeah.
Where are you performing now? Are you doing like live stream stuff or?
Yeah, right now I'm doing a lot of live stream. What I like to do is I like to like get into his space where I'm gonna go do a bunch of live stream. Then I just like to just pop up on different sites without telling anybody I'm coming. Do a few songs and blow out of there before they know what's going on.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So how long have you been playing?
Well, I mean, pretty much ever since I can remember. But you know, I don't know. Do I want to show my age here?
We'll just say you're very you've been playing for a long time.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, did you start off playing? Oh, you're wearing a Flash hat. Awesome. DC. Hell yeah. Did you start off playing guitar or did you start off with other instruments? I mean, I know you sing, so what was your first instrument?
Well, when I was a kid, I had this guitar that was cracked in half. So you'd be able to bend the body and go like woo wee wee woo wee, depending on how you're bending the body. So, and then I also had this broken down like plastic keyboardist that like ran on air pressure, you know, and that's really what I started on.
And it kind of just went from there.
Yeah.
So growing up, who were your influences?
Well, Cat Stevens, David Bowie.
Oh,
they were competitors back on the Durham label, and you know, a lot Yes and Jethro Tull, ELP, and the Who, you know, Echo and the Bunnymen, Psychedelic Furs, Bebop Deluxe.
It's all the greats.
Yeah, the list goes on.
Yeah. Is there anyone that stuck out the most?
Yeah, well, my favorite is Cat Stevens, and I actually got to do backup vocals for him.
No way. Was that like a dream come true?
Back when Egypt was having their Rising Up, and he did a song for them called My People. I got to do backups. My people, my people, my people. That's pretty much all I did on that.
Wow. So is that like a dream come true? Like being?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Were you starstruck at all? Like.
I actually did it over the internet.
Oh.
Because he lives in Dubai.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's, you know, he didn't send me a ticket to fly over to Dubai, so we actually did it over the internet. I always wished I could have done some backups with David Bowie, but unfortunately he's gone now.
I know. God, dude, that hit me hard when I heard, you know,
Yeah.
When he came out with Black Star. I mean, he knew, obviously. The whole album, was about, you know, him getting ready. But just watching the music videos and listening to the music really, really hit me hard. And then when I heard, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden, hey, it's Bowie's birthday. He's got a brand new album out. Hey, it goes to #1, and like 3 days later, he's dead.
He's dead. Yeah, I know. Yes. It was, what? It was so fast.
But what I really liked about that was the title track. You know, and if you're watching the video, they're carrying a Major Tom's skull. But there's a place where he dies and the music changes, and then after that he's singing after he's already dead.
You know, I didn't catch that. Yeah, you're right.
The music completely changes, and he goes like into this more uplifting kind of fantasy, strange music, and then, you know, something happened on the day he died, you know, and I thought that was really impressive.
Wow. Yeah, you know, you're right. Yeah. Wow. Woo. That just gave me even more chills. Jeez. Yeah, no, that'd been great to have the opportunity. Excuse me, to have the opportunity to do something with him, but, you know, I mean, it's tragedy, you know. It's like Van Halen, and you know, that's the most recent one that I heard of.
Well, for me, once Lou Reed died, everybody started dying. You know, Keith Emerson, Greg Lake, Bowie.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He did that album with Metallica, and
Yeah.
after that,
it was a pretty weird album.
I'm a huge Metallica fan. No shame, because I grew up with Floyd and Metallica, but I'm a huge Metallica fan, and when Lulu came out, I gave it a shot. I have like the deluxe.
Got it too. Do I listen to it? No.
Yeah, exactly. I gave it a shot. I listened to it probably 3 times, and I was like, I love you guys, but I can't do it. I love both of you, but I can't do it. Like, it was a good effort, A for effort, but it was such a weird.
It seemed like a takeoff on the movie Boxing Helena, where they were like cutting off her limbs and sticking her in a box.
Yeah.
But a lot of the lyrics seem very close to that.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Wow, that's another band that talks about Helena. The Misfits also have a song called Helena. Very, very good song, by the way. Yeah, very good song. So, all right. So you've been in the scene for a while. You've toured and all that fun stuff, huh?
Yeah.
So, any crazy stories? Or any, any interesting stories?
Yeah, I got some crazy stories. I was doing just about 2 years ago. I was doing a series of shows with guys that used to be in the band Redbone.
Oh.
Yeah, so we had a series of 3 shows, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we're going to be doing. Of course, Thursday, I wiped out in a body surfing accident, and I wound up on crutches. So I'm there limping around on crutches, and we get there, and it's like a comic convention kind of thing. And I'm going, okay, well, where's our security? And they go, oh, yeah, we got the best security. We got all these Grand Masters, man. Nothing's going to happen to you. They had all these Kung Fu Grand Masters there on Friday. Well, okay, so they're supposed to put us up in a hotel. They didn't. Instead, they put us up in a haunted bar where somebody got murdered.
What the fuck?
And, yeah, we're there trying to sleep, and the keyboard player and the bass player, they're all drinking vodka all night, and I think tweaking or something. And the next day comes around, and the keyboard player loses his mind. He picks up a bar stool, breaks it across the guitar player, and then he starts coming at me with a box cutter, and I'm there on crutches, And
this was before the show?
This was before the show on Sunday, the third day.
Holy shit.
Our final day there. And so I called the cops because this guy's like swinging box cutters at people, and he broke a martini glass, and he's swinging that around. So they show up, and the bass player's listening to something on the headphones. He doesn't know what's going on. Of course, they arrest him instead of the keyboard player. They're bringing him out in handcuffs. I'm going, not him, the other guy. So, and then they finally got him, and he got there out. We didn't press any charges because we figured he was just like screwed up out of his mind or whatever. We just didn't want him killing us until he, came to. And it was weird because all these Redbone guys, they're of Mexican origin.
Yeah.
And the cops were going around asking everybody what their what race they were, basically. And they come up to me, and I go, they ask me, and I go, well, my mother was from Spain. What does that make me? And she looks at me and goes, Caucasian. Writes it down. But as far as the guy losing his mind, there's a few theories on that. One, we got a phone call from somebody that knew Lolly Vegas, the original guitarist, because that day the guitarist who had replaced him was wearing the costume that he had worn on the Saturday, the Midnight Special back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And so we get a call from her saying that costume is haunted. And so it was either the haunted costume got in this guy's head, or the ghost of whoever got killed in that bar we were sleeping in, or something. But something took him over and just made him nuts. And then after this is all over, I'm asking the guy, okay, where's all the security? Where's all these Kung Fu guys? Oh, they're not here today.
The one day that it happens, they're not there. So he was acting like out of character. Like he was just like you knew like okay, there's something fucking wrong with him.
It's like he was possessed or something.
Wow.
Trying to kill the rest of the band.
And he was wearing the suit when that went down. So he was wearing the suit when that went down.
Well, the guitar player that got hit by the bar stool was wearing the suit.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but something came over the keyboard player. You know, I don't know. Maybe he'd been up for a week. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? But
fuck. That's a hell of a story. That's a hell of a story.
Yeah, and I'm on crutches the whole time.
Holy shit!
And we're singing "Come and Get Your Love," and of course everybody in the audience, they got to jump up on stage to sing that with us. So they're jumping up on stage, they're stomping on my foot that I just screwed up in a body surfing accident because I'm there at the microphone, and they're like rushing the microphone and just. So.
Wow! What a weekend! What a weekend! What was your favorite place to perform at?
I kind of like Al's Bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Al's Bar was, I don't know if you ever played, there's a little hole in the wall in Los Angeles. And, yeah, a lot of punk bands played there and stuff. But there was a door that only certain people knew about. You went out the door, and there was a courtyard, like, in between all the buildings. And everybody would gather out there and party. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I see Al's Bar right here. Oh, I just lost it. Damn it.
Well, I mean, I played at the convention center. That was pretty good. I also did the LA Marathon a few years. And they had us playing. They had us playing in Koreatown one year, and we had a Korean guitar player. And when we saw it on the news, all you saw was a Korean guitar player.
So you played outdoors, like there was an outdoor stage you guys performed in Koreatown? Yeah. Oh, that's rad. And that was for the marathon, really?
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. That's cool. Wow. All right, so what's the worst venue you've ever played at? I love asking everyone this. This is my favorite 2 questions of all time. If you want to share that.
I don't know. I love all the venues. It's like it's almost some of the worst venues are actually some of the most fun places to play.
That is so true. That is so true. Very, very true. If it looks like shit, smells like shit, it's probably gonna be the best night of your life. Musicians know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
So you ventured off on your own after you were with the band, and you've been kind of doing your own solo thing. So what have you been doing since? You've released records, you're performing. Are you doing like private shows, also venues and bars and stuff, or like what's it looked like until the lockdown happened, pretty much?
I was doing a lot of solo acoustic stuff, but I've actually been rehearsing with a blind drummer who was a protege of Buddy Rich.
Oh, wow.
He was out here by the beach, and he's he can play anything. It's just a matter of getting him stuff on a CD because he can't really he has trouble accessing stuff just directly from the internet. He's
That makes sense.
He's better off with just a CD.
Wow. And you guys have been doing like a duo thing for a while?
Well, we're rehearsing for some recordings.
Okay.
Like the next Naked Picasso album that I'm working on and that kind of thing.
So he's drumming for Picasso also?
Yeah, he's going to be. He on the next album.
Oh, that's awesome. Where do you record at?
I record right here where I'm talking to you.
Oh, you got your own spot then. Nice.
Yeah, I got a recording studio in here. It's a recording / art studio. That's also where I draw my comics.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. So you're what I saw an interview you did. I'm very interested in talking to you about Leprechaun.
Okay.
This is kind of a guilty pleasure. No one knows that except for my daughter. I'm a huge Leprechaun fan. I love the films. I love, Warwick Davis. And
he's a cool guy.
Oh yeah, I wish I could hug him. Like he's so cool. I'm a huge fan of Willow and stuff. Like, what? So how'd you get into that? Like,
well, here's how I got into it. I was playing with my band before the Naked Picassos. It's called Modern Myth, and one of the groupies worked at Trimark Pictures. Now they had hired somebody to do the Leprechaun comic, who said they could make it look like a comic book, but what they did was they took stills from the movie and did really bad reproductions of them and stuck word balloons on it. And Trimark Pictures didn't like it. So they were looking for an actual comic book artist. So she suggested me, and I went in for an interview, and I did. I drew the cover, and they loved it, so we went from there. But my art director was actually the drummer from a band called Hot Water Music.
Oh.
So I ended up going to their rehearsals and stuff, and hanging out with them, and through them met some other bands like I'm trying to remember. But yeah, there's a bunch of 80s bands, and we're kind of hanging out. But yeah, that's how I got to do the Leprechaun, and they handed me a VHS of the completed movie, which wasn't out yet. So I got to watch that, and then I also got some stills from Gabe Bartolos, the guy who designed the makeup, and I did that, and they had me changing stuff down to the second it went to press.
Wow.
Because they've got how these companies work is they've got a like a board of people that all have to earn a paycheck by putting in their opinion. So they're going to be changing stuff down to the last minute just to prove that they're doing something.
Oh, isn't that fun?
No, it wasn't actually, because they didn't want to pay me for any of the changes.
That's okay.
And then it got down to the end. They go, okay, now we want to do this, this, and this, and this, and we want to get it to the printer, because if we don't get it to the printer today, it's not coming out. And I'm going, look, I've done all these changes for free. Why don't you pay me to do these changes? And he goes, well, here's what I can do. Why don't I send somebody down there to pick up your artwork, and we'll have somebody else do the changes. I said, yeah, you do that. Only I won't be here, and neither will the artwork by the time you show up.
Wow, they really
goes,
said
well, let
that.
me call you back, and he called a meeting, and they decided to pay me for the last series of changes.
Unbelievable.
Got it done right before it went to press.
Wow. Fuck, dude. That was in the 80s.
Yeah. So.
Jeez.
And the kicker is, I only got half the money that they originally offered to the first guys, because they had paid them half the money, and now they didn't have the full budget. So
typical. So typical. Fuck.
Yeah, dude. It was very stressful, but it was. But by the time I reached Comic-Con that year, everybody had seen it.
Yeah.
There's like 500,000 copies of it.
How did you get into doing comics? Like not literally, but like what inspired you to start drawing comics?
Well, reading comics when I was a kid. My father was a fine artist. He did like paintings and for museums and that kind of stuff. And he actually burned most of my comic book collection because he didn't like Jack Kirby's art.
What? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Jack Kirby was like my guy. I went to Jack Kirby's house when I was a kid and got to hang out with Jack Kirby.
Wow.
Sheldorf, the founder of Comic-Con, took me up there. And in fact, Jack Kirby was one of the reasons why Marvel Comics hired me as an inker, because he would send me Xeroxes of his pencil pages so that I could get experience inking, and then I would ink them and send them to Marvel. And then my other buddy, Craig Anderson, who was the son of the guy that did Marmaduke, Brad Anderson, he was an editor there at Marvel. And between Jack and Craig, they got me a gig doing inks over there.
Wow. So you just so do you write any of the stories, or do you just do the drawings?
No, I'm all the stuff I'm doing now. I'm writing
Yeah.
as well.
Is it difficult to? I've never spoken to anyone that does the ink for comics. Is it hard to kind of visualize what it's going to look like, or what's the process in that?
Well, the process is making the pencils, look like the pencil should look, when you're done putting the ink on it. But as I noticed in the early days, when I was growing up reading comics, an inker could make or break a penciler. He could either make the penciler look really great if he was terrible, or really terrible if he was great. Or because sometimes a lot of times they would mismatch inkers and pencilers to where they really didn't jive that well with each other's styles.
Wow, what a process! Jeez,
Yeah.
dang. So let's go back to your music stuff. So what's your writing process like?
My writing process is as different as I can make it from song to song. Sometimes I'll start off with music and write lyrics to it. Sometimes I'll write lyrics and then write music to the lyrics. And then sometimes I'll collaborate with other people, and they'll come up with most of the music, and I'll sit there and come up with the lyrics and stuff.
You do a lot of collaboration, or?
I do, actually.
Yeah.
Not so much lately because I'm not really seeing anybody. They're all in quarantine.
Yeah, what a fucked up situation for musicians, man. I was talking to someone about it, and I was like, God, it's like there's everyone, not everybody, but there's a lot of people that are still able to go out and work, but as working musicians, like, you're kind of fucked,
Yeah.
taking tips and having salaries from doing gigs, and it sucks. In the studio that I'm located at, they do live streaming here, and they're kind of explaining the process to me and how they can only allow so many people in the room because they have to follow the guideline. And I've never done live streaming other than the podcast, and this is even weird for me because normally I have the person 6 feet in front of me. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know. It's really strange. Like, you're done with the song and there's no applause. Or no yelling, no one talking over in the bar, clinking of the, like, it's.
Yeah, that's why James Corden has that button. He just presses for applause.
So I heard you're gonna perform a song for us today.
Sure. Would you like that now?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me do this. Let me pin you so you could be the full screen. All right, man. Whenever you're ready, I'm excited.
All right. This is the title track for the upcoming Naked Picasso album. It's called "Return of the Ancients." I reside on the other side of the sky. I lived amongst you long ago, in long forgotten times. In just mentioning the name could brighten every mind. I'm longing for the greatest days the watch face has erased. It's time to act. I'm going back. I hope I'll be embraced. Every faded thought replaced on the worldwide database. Let's get back to the blaze. Let's vanish from trace, and we can review the things you never knew.
Dude, that is super cool. So
That's
cool.
It's called Return of the Ancients, and basically, it's the album is about some entity that was here thousands of years ago, coming back because he misses the Earth, and then he gets back here and finds out things have kind of changed.
Hey, well, CG, man.
And by the end of the record, he's heading back for the stars, but he's bringing back his new love that he found here.
Wow, that's
back to the stars with him.
Is that on any of the albums, or is that like a new one?
No, it's a new one. It's the title track for the one I'm working on now.
Wow, that's amazing. Would you mind doing another one for us?
Sure.
Yeah. Let me hold on. Let me pin you real quick. All right, go for it.
Okay, this is another one from the upcoming Naked Picasso album. It's called You Can't Catch This Mouse. Goodbye, sunshine. Hello, snow. I love you all. Forget me not. I've gotta take the only shot I've got. That special someone is different now. Wielding love with deadly force. Look out! When the children are the victims, you're hurting them, not me. They give you their love, but you give them your pain. Adios, you won't see us again. Taking back my life, moving out of this house. Me and the kids. Cat, you can't catch. Oh,
Wow, dude, I'm a fan.
No, thanks.
I'm a fan. Hey, so how can people get a hold of your music?
Well, you can go to really any streaming site. I'm pretty much up there. You go to CD Baby, you can go to iTunes, you can go to Pandora, you can go to my record label, liquidstarrecords.com, and or you could go to YouTube or all of the above.
All right, you guys heard that. Well, it's going to be in the links below if you guys are watching the YouTube channel, or even if you're on any of the podcast streaming sites. Just go down in the description. You can see all the links. I'm gonna put all of your links on there. I wanted to talk to you about Liquid Star Records. So that's your record company?
Yeah. And yeah, everything is up there except for the stuff out of France. The Sky Change stuff is not up there, but you can find it on any of the other places.
Nice. So that's basically what that company is, what records all of your music. And yeah, that's awesome. How long have you had that?
About 3 years.
Yeah. What I'm curious. What made you want to do your own record label?
Because I got a deal on it where I could release, at least for the first couple of years, I could release as much music as I wanted to without having to pay extra for it.
Yeah.
That's and now they quit doing that deal, so I don't know. You know, I guess I'm going to keep it.
Were you ever on any other labels or companies?
Well, I mean, some obscure ones back in the 80s and early 90s. But yeah, you know, my problem is I don't have management. I don't have an agent. I don't have any of that. So
you don't need that.
I've been doing all this myself the whole time.
Well, that's I mean, nowadays, especially nowadays, like that's the better route, as long as you're consistent and you're just just on top of it, because I mean, honestly, like it's good to have PR for sure, but like having management and all that, it's just like, I don't know. I'm old school myself, and I just don't like, I don't know. I feel like it's unnecessary to have any of that unless you're you're running multiple projects, like multiple bands and stuff. Then maybe have a manager to help,
Yes wrote an instrumental about that. It was called 10% for Nothing.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I read about it in the new Steve Howe autobiography.
Ooh, that's such a slap in the face. I gotta check that out. Oh wow, that's awesome. Damn. Okay, so you're working on a new album. You're in the middle of mixing. Like, when do you know when a song's done? It's so hard for musicians to kind of let stuff go. I mean, I'm still working on an album I wrote like fucking 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, sounds like me trying to mix this acoustic album.
Yeah.
I don't know. The problem is, it kind of sounds different every time you listen to it. You might be listening to it one night. Oh yeah, that sounds great. You put it on the next morning. You go, oh, what was I thinking?
Yeah. It's crazy how that works. Like I remember listening to a song and just, oh, this sounds amazing. And then like 3 weeks later, I listened to it again. I'm like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
What happened to the soul? Why is it so thin?
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, it's incredible how that happens from one day to another.
The best way to go is to basically hire professionals to do all your engineering for you. That's what I used to do, but I can't really afford to pay them $60 an hour and up at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it myself, and that's why it's taking so long, because I don't enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy EQing everything, and all the rest of that stuff,
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I mean, I get crucified for saying this, but I absolutely hate audio editing, and I mean, I'm good at it, and, it's my thing, but like, I'd rather be performing, I'd rather be recorded than recording. Does that make sense? Like being the engineer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in the Yes book. It's like Okay, well, they spent all this time recording this, that, and the other thing. They did this and the other. Then they gave it to the producer and the engineer and said, okay, we're going on tour now. Send us some mixes when they're done.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. And then they just say, oh, change this, change that, change this a little bit.
We re-recorded everything.
I'd like to go.
Yeah, that'd be great. You just record your stuff, hand it to someone, and just be like, all right, I'll give me an update when you're ready. Whenever you feel like it's ready.
My friend produced Sting, Fields of Gold, and he said Sting was always calling into the studio saying, okay, let's adjust this, let's adjust that. But he was never actually there.
Really? Oh, so he was involved in his own mixing. Wow. That's tough, like having the artist, hovering over the engineers, I remember I heard a story with with Lars Ulrich where he told the engineer, mix it like this, and the engineer's like, what? This is terrible. And then he left, and then he remixed it and showed the producer, and then Lars came back. He's like, what'd you do to my mix? Put it all back. And the engineer's like, what the fuck, dude? But yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, like I have a rule for myself when I record music. I always have someone produce me. I can't do it myself because I'm so like, let's just add a little more treble. Maybe shift it a little bit to the left, a little bit more. Shit, it's all the way to the left. Okay, take it back. I'm just so like I'm indecisive. I can't do it. So kudos to you, man.
These people that do it for a living, I mean, they're EQing everything and getting all that stuff done while you're recording the tracks.
Yeah.
So by the time they're ready to mix it, it's almost mixed.
Yeah, that is true. That's like skipping a step. And it helps the mixing process move along a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, kudos to the engineers, man. They have to deal with our shit. Can I get more reverb? Can you just more guitar on the left, less bass? Actually, eliminate the bass.
and the reason they accept money for doing that is because they all have their own projects that they could be working on for free.
That is true. I remember one of my buddies, he said, like, dude, I should get tips for dealing with bullshit. And I'm like, dude, you get paid like $500,000 a year. Why are you complaining?
Really? That is your tip.
I know, that's your tip. You don't like your job, go play a bass or something. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. This was fun. Do you mind doing another song for us?
No, I'll do one. I'll do one off my solo album, Don't Fire at Will.
All right, let me put you as center of attention. All right, man. Go for it.
All right, this is called Beetle Street. Following my nose back home, looking for what I left here long ago. A part of me that used to be is gone, I'm incomplete. Damn the crew points to Beetle Street. Slick as a sleuth, I track my youth on back through time. I have to get back inside my mind. I gotta free that part of me that's been crushed and redefined. Make myself complete on Beetle Street. Good times when we were together. Why you had to go out, I'll never know. Oh, good time, living fair weather. I don't want the pain bad times bestow. It's not that far to the local bar, our old hangout downtown. get stories, drinks, and lots of fun. Though we were barely scraping by, nothing got us down. That was then, not now, on Beetle Street. Good time, they last forever, and memories that can be torn away. Hey, good time, they only get better, like vintage wine improving day by day. Though I was born here long ago, it doesn't feel like home. And through it all, I somehow feel alone. I can finally find what I left behind. It's no longer me, so I'll just let it be on Beetle Street. Good times, they're gone forever, but in my mind they'll never go. Oh, good time, living fair weather. If things go bad, no one wants to know. So I'm sounding my retreat from Beetle Street. Yeah, 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 yeah.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Will Clausen. What are you playing? What guitar is that?
I'm playing an acoustic Ovation.
I thought so. I saw the headstock and I'm like, that looks like an Ovation.
Yeah, I went into Mars Music years ago, owned by Mickey Mars, and I went and played every guitar in that place, all except for the double neck guitar with all the jewels in the neck. I didn't play that one because I was afraid I'd mess it up. But this was the best sounding guitar in the whole place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that at? Is that in San Diego or?
No, it was in Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles until a couple of years ago. No, but all the Mars Musics have closed down.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was in Los Angeles. It was in the South Bay, somewhere around Torrance.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So how long have you been in San Diego?
I've been back here. Well, I was actually born down here. I was born in La Jolla. It's been downhill ever since. But yeah, I'm back here. I was getting the traffic up there is just ridiculous. And I was tired of it taking me 3 hours to get to some place that should have taken me 20 minutes.
Truth.
And you're sitting there, you're falling asleep in traffic. It's not moving. You need to go take a leak. There's nowhere to pull over. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't miss it at all. I travel to LA every week. It's insane how much driving I do. And
where are you at now?
I'm in San Diego. I relocated to San Diego officially last year. Permanently this year. Excuse me. Permanently last year. I forget. It's 2021. It's January. So I'm permanently down here. I'm actually out of El Cajon.
Okay. And, I'm here off of College Avenue.
Oh, okay, dude, that's crazy. Everyone I've interviewed is in that area. That's awesome.
I'm by Choya's Lake, the lake that nobody knows is there because you can't really see it from the street.
Yes, I got lost there and I circled it for a while. I was like, where am I? And then my studio is down here at by Sports Arena, so it's kind of a drive, but not really. It's not like LA driving.
Yeah.
It's like 20 miles or whatever the length is, and it takes you 20 minutes versus if this was LA, it would take me 3 hours to get down here. I don't miss that shit, dude. I remember playing it down in Sunset, and then just like, all right, we got to leave now. But we don't. Our call time's at 8. I'm like, I know it's 3:00. We should leave now.
try going down to Hollywood on Halloween, and try finding a place to park once you get there.
I did the stupid idea of with my buddy of cruising Hollywood Boulevard. Okay, we cruised not Hollywood Boulevard. We cruised Sunset. Yes, we cruised Sunset, and we started. Where do we start? Right off of Highland, and we went down to WeHo all the way through, and it was like insanity. That wasn't even Hollywood Boulevard. Like, we were the next street over, and it was fucking crazy. Like, Jesus, man. I mean, I hadn't seen so much tail, though. I'll tell you that. It was crazy. Yeah, there's so many.
The thing that I do miss about LA is there's always some place to go. I mean, to see some. I mean, for free. You want to go see bands performing inside of record stores or whatever, you know, you can go do all that, you know. It might take you a long time to get there, but there's always something to do.
Yeah, and it's cool because, like, you know, if you're you know, an individual that loves to run into celebrities, honestly, if you hang out just one day in Hollywood Boulevard, you'll run into somebody.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one day I'm at Tower Records and I go out. I'm looking for the Guitar Center. So I asked this girl, you know, where the Guitar Center is, and afterwards I found it strange she wouldn't know because it turned out that after I walked away I realized it was Liv Tyler I was talking to.
Oh, shit!
Wouldn't she know where the Guitar Center was?
I know, right?
And then I'm on a Hollywood Boulevard. I see the bartender from the Love Boat hanging out on the street wearing a bathrobe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ted Lange. I went up and talked to him, and he gave me an autograph on a piece of newspaper that I happened to be carrying. You know? But yeah, they're all over the place, you know. Or I'm in Redondo Beach. I see Sammy Hagar come whizzing through in a red sports car. You know.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you said Redondo Beach. When I worked at Petco when I was younger, and I went to Redondo Beach Petco, and Matthew McConaughey. You know how they always have him running. He's always exercising. It's totally true. Like, I was down there and he was running, and he ran up to the Petco I was working at because I went to go help out the store, and he's all sweaty. And he takes his shirt or a towel or whatever, wipes himself. He's not wearing a shirt, and he puts on his shirt. It's like, hey, how's it going? He just walks in. I'm like, is that? That is? No way. Bought some like cat food or something or dog food or whatever, like, and then just letting have not stay now. You know, it's like it's crazy. Yeah, I ran into a lot of people. It's interesting working. I worked at Studio City for a while, and I would run into so many celebrities, and I you know, I don't get starstruck, you know. So they're very lucky when I help them out. They're like, hey, I'm looking for. They're trying to hide it, and I'm like, oh, it's over here, and I'm like, you're good. Like, I know who you are. It's fine. You're good. Oh, thank you. You know, like, you have no idea how stressful it is, like, trying to hide. Like, I ran into Sarah Michelle Gellar and what's his name, Freddie Prinze Jr. and you know, they were just like looking around, and she's like, yeah, I'm looking for this. I'm like, yeah, it's over here. And I actually gave them a heads up. I said, hey, you know, there's a fan, so you know, we'll ring you up and get you guys out of here. And she was like, dude, that's so awesome that you're letting us do that. It's like, no, I get it. You know, let's do this. As soon as they got out, it was like, it was crazy.
I would think it's easier for them having to wear the mask all the time, though.
Nowadays, yes. Can you imagine walking in? They have no idea who you are. I'm Keanu Reeves.
I actually did a movie with Keanu Reeves. I was in the original Point Break.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the party scene where there's the blonde in the bikini that's blowing flames.
Yeah. I'm
right next to her, rearing back from the flames.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, movie work, musician. I mean, what is there anything you don't do? Mixes his own albums.
I don't rob people.
That 10%. Oh man. Oh, dude, I appreciate you doing this. This was a fun interview. I gotta have you on the show again when you release that album. I want to hear it. Now I want you back on here, dude.
Hey, great.
Awesome.
You're gonna send me a link so I can check this out and stuff too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be like I tell everybody, it's gonna be uploaded Mondays. Mondays, guys. YouTube. The audio is gonna be on the Spotify and all that stuff.
Cool.
As soon as I normally release them Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now we're kind of following a better schedule. Before it was kind of released as we go, but we have the editor on the schedule. So shout out to Ludi. So he doesn't kill me. So yeah, once it's released, I'll send you all the links and stuff, and you can check it out and show everybody. But this was fun, man. And once you release it, I'm dying to have you back so we can talk about the album.
Yeah. Also, let's once all this COVID blows over, let's go hang out somewhere. And
hell yeah.
Maybe if you're interested in going to Comic-Con, maybe I can slip you in there.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. I've never been.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never been.
I'm a permanent guest.
Oh, awesome. Hell yeah. I'd appreciate that. That'd be awesome. Well, you guys heard it here, man. Will Clausen did some songs for us. Check out his stuff. Check out his comics too. Is there anywhere they can look at your comics so they know which ones you worked on? So maybe they want to go purchase them?
They can just Google my name.
Just Google, yeah.
Here's a splash page for upcoming USO 100.
Wow.
That's a series I'm working on about underwater UFOs.
That's cool. I'm intrigued. All right, well, there you have it, guys. Thanks again, man. I really appreciate it. And we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, my pleasure.